Troops, here we are. It's another Eagle podcast. And again, I've done it. I've managed to find some awesome blokes. Found them on Instagram, cracking Instagram page, awesome logo. I can't wait to find out the story behind it. It's Rick from the Essen Rogues. Rick, how you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm very well, thanks, John. How about yourself?
Fucking hell, mate. I'm just winning every day, victory after victory.
Good to
I
hear,
feel
mate.
like
Good to hear.
I feel like it's important to keep positive and to sort of have micro wins, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, you can't maybe go out and have a big business win or a big, run a marathon and have that sort of win, but you can have mini wins. And I sort of say to people, getting out of bed and making your bed, that's a mini win. That leads on to something else, like routine.
Yeah, massively.
You guys in the Essen Rogues, please tell everyone about who you are and what you are.
Right. Okay. So the Essen Rogues are predominantly just, first and foremost, we're a bunch of good muckers, just a bunch of mates.
Yeah.
It's made up of myself, Rick, Wes, Kurt, and Kyle.
Yeah.
So the basis of us is to promote positive well-being, physically, mentally. We push to help people become more physically and mentally robust. There's two personal trainers between us. There's a mental health first aider, and we've got a corporate worker. So we're all so three of us are ex-military or currently serving military. One's corporate, all from different walks of life. So we pride ourselves on having the ability to shed light or give advice on certain situations, or most situations that people might find themselves in day to day or be struggling with. We want to be a platform for people to turn to.
Cool. That's quite a lot to take in there, but 10 out of 10 for getting the fucking word robust in. That was class. You said the word mental health first aider. This is a topic that interests me because I believe some people use it to jump on the bandwagon to gain likes and follows, and some people actually genuinely care about that topic. How does someone become a mental health first aider?
So our mental health first aider in the Essen Rogues is Kyle, and he got it through work. So he was sat a course at work, and you learn about the trigger points from seeing mental health from an outside point of view, how to signpost, how to deal with it, how to be empathetic towards people suffering, because they might not even know they're suffering, but you pick up on things. So so Kyle got that through work, and it's an incredible asset to have in the team. Massive.
Yeah, that offers a great weapon in the arsenal, doesn't it? It offers you a great sort of a great outlet. And is there a sort of what's the dream, Rick? Like, what's the dream with the Essen Rogues?
So at the moment, we're trying to sort of establish ourselves as a brand. We want to go on to run events, seminars, spread our name and message as far and wide as possible to just help as many people as possible. Yeah.
When you say events, what type of events?
So we're looking to, obviously, after we get out of the whole lockdown situation, we want to get some fitness events squared away, some talks, seminars, workshops as well, where people can come to just learn the skills that we've picked up over time.
Right. So you're looking, obviously, you're looking to build a community, aren't you? That's predominantly that's what you want to do. Look, that's really cool. On your logo, I love it. Talk us through your logo design and how that came about.
Well, it's a bit of a double entendre. It's got two meanings. So the official meaning that we go with is obviously tail end of last year, beginning of this year, Australia's bushfires sort of like decimated the koala species to a point, and they still survived and came back stronger. So we tend to spin that on its head and help people think or help people realise that they are koala strong. So we've got a patched up koala as the logo. Yeah. But the other meaning to it, which no one really knows about, is one of our friends who's not involved in the circle used to be a little bit promiscuous, shall we say. So he's got a nice heavy set beard, and he said that he's like a koala because he's hairy and got chlamydia. all koalas have got chlamydia. So it's sort of the logo sort of just span off as a bit of a weird, wild joke. But in the end, we found a better meaning to use it.
Fair play, mate. And this episode is now going to be called a Double Entendre. That is fucking mega. Yeah, well done. I'm not sure how to say it, but we'll find a way. Hey, fair play, mate. And on your pod, you've started a podcast as well. Where can people find that? And what's the sort of steer with the podcast? What you're looking to achieve with the podcast?
So the podcast, I don't know if you've seen any episodes, but it's difficult with logistics at the moment because we're all in separate parts of the country.
Yeah.
So we have to use Zoom, which I'm pretty sure every podcaster out there at the moment is doing anyway.
Yeah.
But we sit and we have a beer together. So it's more like a social thing. It's basically just a social chinwag, but just on video.
Yeah, yeah.
So the idea of it is our most recent one is on testicular cancer because we're trying to break the stigma of being ashamed or embarrassed of going to get yourself checked or checking yourself out, or if you find something abnormal, get it checked. It's sort of, I guess, the easiest way to put it is it's like lad banter, blokes advice, just everyday blokes having a beer and chewing the fat.
Cool. And I take it with that, then it can get a bit spicy on the old language.
Yeah, it's probably not safe for work. It can get a bit out of hand sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what? It's interesting because a few people who listen to my podcast, they said that they sometimes they put a certain episode on and they might be in the car with the family, and then I come in like, fuck you know. It's like quickly
turn it down.
It's going to be one of those podcasts where it's just going to be F-bombs. Have you got any sort of aspirations to get any sort of guests on, or is it just going to be you guys just getting on it?
Yeah, no, we do want to branch out, but we're still sort of trying to find our feet with the structure of the podcast and stuff like that. So I guess the podcast episodes that are out at the moment are sort of like guinea pig episodes. They're trial episodes, teething problems we're trying to smooth out, audio issues. I'm sure you had the same speed bumps all the way along as well. So we're trying to get ourselves in a bit of a better position, more of a professional position, shall we say, before we can start offering it out.
The thing is, Rick, right? Everyone wants to be Joe Rogan, but no one's got Joe Rogan money. Like,
that's the thing, isn't it?
This is the deal with it, right? I was probably in the same boat as you guys were, like literally a year ago when I started my podcast, thinking this has got to be right and that's got to be right and this has got to be right. But you let your audience decide. You know what I mean? And like, I know loads of people who live on Someday Island and they're gonna do it, or I'm just waiting for this to happen and I'm just waiting for that. And the thing is, if it ain't COVID-19, it's your birthday. If it's not your birthday, it's Christmas. Like, it's always going to be something. And sometimes you just have to think, do you know what? I'm just going to have to start the project and improve as it goes along. And like, just produce content at scale. Do you know what I mean? And let people decide. Like, you want a microphone. Like the things that I said to you over Instagram message, headphones, stable Wi-Fi, Zoom as a platform. Fair enough, and just roll with it. But I know far too many people who think I've got to have top level production. It's got to be this. It's got to be that, and they never release an episode. And it was the greatest podcast that no one ever heard. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly
and it's just sort of roll with it. Well, I've added it to my list of podcasts, mate. I'm all in on veteran-owned podcasts.
Brilliant.
Who do you listen to podcast wise? Like obviously Joe Rogan, but do you listen to any of the other veteran-owned ones?
I've listened to Hugh Keir's H Hour, and
quality.
I've actually been listening recently to Marcus Luttrell, Lone Survivor. He's got a podcast called Team Never Quit. I think it's with his brother, and he has different veterans on, and they'll talk about times when they should have quit but didn't, and it's really motivating to hear.
Yeah, it's people like that are a go-to, aren't there? And no doubt you found yourself screaming at the sky listening to David Goggins at some point.
Yeah. I tend to listen to David Goggins if I'm out on a run or something, because I fucking hate running. I detest running. Personal trainer, I love running, but it's not my thing. So if I'm out on a run, I'll have a bit of David Goggins on, because he's something about him that will just it won't make you stop. It would make you push, 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 and push. You
Yeah.
feel like you're down if you stop.
Yeah, he's one of those characters where you think, if I stop here now, he's going to jump out of this edge here and go, "Oh, it's on now, motherfucker!" Like he is a proper, yeah. He's got that thing about him. Like, and he even says himself, "I hate running. I hate running," so I started running.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, exactly.
It's a great way to look at it. So you're currently you're looking at this Essen Rogues from the PT personal training point of view. Where do you see that going? Are you looking to build a client base? Do you want to open your own space? Like,
well, at the moment we're running 3 classes a week virtually through Zoom. We're doing it all for free, just as a way to help people stay motivated. And if nothing else, it gives them something to do. So Monday, Wednesday, Saturday morning, you know, if you've got nothing to do, jump onto Zoom, crack some fears, and feel better about the day. But eventually, we'd like to step into opening up our own space. Yeah, but not just your regular gym. No, we want sort of like the yoga, the Pilates, the wellness side of it, because it's a bit of a pipeline dream, but we're willing to put the work in to get there. But yeah, we want a place more so of wellness than just lifting weights.
Yeah, I feel like as a society we're changing. Do you know what I mean? And I believe that COVID will do something to society. We'll either be stronger or we'll be worse for it after it's finished. And I'm hoping that will obviously be better for it as a society. And I think it's taught us to just stop and slow down and look at things that, you know, that really matter. Like you said there, it's a long-term dream, but everyone wants short-term wins, don't they? Do you know what I mean? Everyone wants, oh, I've put one post on Instagram and it didn't get 25,000 likes and 6 million comments. It's like, that's not realistic. Like,
no, of course it's not.
Everyone wants to judge. Everyone wants to judge the numbers and like, oh, I want a podcast, but I only want it when it's, you know, when it's getting 10,000 downloads. Like, it takes time and it takes content to be able to do that. So the 4 of yous working together on your project, how do you see it going forward? Like, and what I mean by that is, you've got 4 cooks and 1 broth. Like, have you got a structure in place? You know, it can be difficult in business to sort of, you may have a great idea, but someone else might think, well, I would do it like this.
Yeah, that's the thing, and it is difficult in business. It's difficult with friends in business anyway, I believe, because
100%.
There's always going to be split hairs somewhere. But we base ourselves on being different, and all our opinions matter. So you know, all our different personalities essentially make the broth. We're just stirring it. You know, all us cooks are just stirring it. But come back to your question, where is it going? Is there a structure? We do have sort of a vision of where we want it to go. Yeah. It's just taking these relevant small steps at a time. What we don't want to do is take too much of a big step, be left with a gap. You know, we want to make sure we're paving the way, and if we need to take a back step, we've got a step to step back on. We don't want to sort of rush ahead of ourselves and sort of shoot ourselves in the foot in the long term. We're just trying to take each day at a time. We're still trying to work out our target audience in reality. We've only been up and running probably 8 weeks, 2 months.
Wow.
So yeah, we're still trying to sort of find our place. You know, we're still in a little bit of limbo. So at the moment, everyone's opinions coming in from left, right, and Chelsea is making everything a bit easier.
So COVID, let's just say COVID-19's done and dusted by July. Are you sort of working on a plan of attack now to think, right, we're going to bring people together and we're going to do an event, like, and I'll use myself as an example here. A few years ago, I got addicted to Fitbits and counting steps. Like, that really became a big thing for us. So I created events around Fitbits and steps and community, and giving people the option to do something like that in a day, like a crazy sort of 50,000 steps in a day. And people really gravitated to it. And then I put, in a military fashion, and you'll be fair with this, I put order and structure and delivery. So it wasn't just, well, we just walk around the town centre for 45,000 times. Do you know what I mean? Like, we actually go on like a proper organised hike. I'm a qualified mountaineer. So like there's structure and there's beauty and there's community. Like, have you got something like that in mind, as in like a a retreat weekend?
Yeah, so we've actually been sort of digging out, trying to network with people we want to network with. We've got sort of collaborations in place already for when everything gets lifted. And we also have access to like a chateau in Switzerland, in the mountains in Switzerland.
Christ, brilliant.
So going forward, that's going to be one of our big things. You know, we can offer retreat weekends, like people are going wild for holistic retreats. You know, so we can get out there with a group of people. We can get amongst the mountains, come back. We can just zen it out. You know, and have a barbecue and have a couple of beers and whatnot. So we are looking at stuff like that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's an interesting point of view that I think a lot of people are looking at that now. And are you looking at the sort of, you said that one of your partners is from a corporate world. Are you looking to use his connections within the corporate world to look at that side of it?
We actually haven't explored the corporate world network yet. We're still, because 3/4 of us are military based, we're sort of, that's sort of what we know. That's sort of the corridor we've been pushed down.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I say, we're still learning to network. So where possible, we will be using everyone's network and everyone's connections, because the bigger address book you got, the better stead you're in.
Mate, your network is your net worth. It's as simple as that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, massively.
You have to put yourself out there, and I sort of tell people, a closed door offers you nothing, but an open door, who knows? Do you know what I mean? Like, you need to just walk through as many open doors as you can, and speak to people. Now, like, I run corporate events, and all I say about corporate is where you need to be, but corporate is very, very on the ball, as in like insurance, qualifications, all of that has to be like 1000% like boxed off, because that's what they
bulletproof, isn't you?
Yeah, that's what they look at. Like, once you're in that realm and it's working, that's brilliant, but it's hard to get into that realm because of, like, you need insurance and qualifications and public liability and all of those great things. But you know, once people start trusting the brand, it goes like wildfire. Honestly, it's a really it's a way to look at it. How are you getting this network? Is there a strategy, or how are you doing it?
So at the moment, as I say, we're still sort of crawling. So we're just sort of engaging with pages similar to us. In Instagram wise, you know, we've made some real good connections. We're getting a real good bond with the guys from Commando Mindset, Ben Williams and Tomo.
Yeah, they're great blokes. Yeah, 100%. Well done.
Really good blokes. Yeah. So we're getting on real good terms with them. We've got some things lined up with them afterwards. You know, we're gravitating towards the fitness gurus of the military world, should we say? So the likes of HR4K, Project Iron Souls, we're working well with them, and sort of paving a way for the future. But predominantly, our network is coming through the best free business platform, which is social media. Yeah,
well, I mean, before I pressed go on this podcast, I told you about Veteran Own UK. Now, you will literally be like, wow, this is class. Like, once you get on it and you see the value of that network and the following that it has, and you talk about veteran-owned brands that are doing really well, they're all on there. Like, all of those brands that are massive are all on there. Now, what I've done is I've looked at the brands that are close to me regionally and gone, do you know what? I won't overreach for a brand in London, because that's not close to me and it'll be hard to build a relationship. So for me, I'm very lucky that Alex from Red Coat Apparel lives really close to me. So me and Alex used to be in the same regiment. So when we've now got a great working relationship, he's got a great brand. I wear all of his Red Coat Apparel stuff. He's been on the podcast. I go visit him in his shop. We're always doing business, and there'll be more business down the line. And that's how I've worked it. I've looked at, gone, right, not necessarily who's the biggest. I'm going to want to work with the biggest person. Who's close to me, who's on my, do you know what I mean? Who's going the place where I'm going? Because, like, obviously H4K, like, they're massive, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? Like, they are absolutely massive. But is that the move to make in Southampton? Do you know what I mean? Is there not another apparel business or someone else coming up that you'd think, do you know what, I can see that there with them?
In all honesty, we haven't actually researched who's local to us, because so some of us are in Southampton, some of us are in London at the moment,
okay, right, fair enough.
we all live. So we haven't really been looking, like you say, regionally, who's local to us and who's similar to us. But that's definitely a door to be knocking, I think, going forward.
Yeah, I mean, where it can, it's always good to sort of hang your hat. Like for my events, I use Greenbrier coffee, and I buy my tea from Tactical Tea.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? I know Alex Miller, from Tactical Tea, and like I said, like through Veteran Owned, I've made these connections and built these bonds. And obviously, when I'm out with my clients and my customers, oh, you know, can I have a cup of tea? Yeah, tea. Yeah, it's Tactical Tea. Oh, this is Gleeman. Oh, yeah. You'll find them on Instagram, and it's that referral system. Do you know what I mean? And like I found them through Veteran Known, which for me has been the greatest networking platform ever.
I can't believe we don't know about it.
You would have found it. You would have found it. Do you know what I mean? It took me a good maybe 6 months before I got in contact with a guy who ran it and sort of spoke to him. And ever since then, it's like, you know, jobs away. Like it's class. Another good one, mate. LinkedIn. Are you on LinkedIn? Are you doing the LinkedIn?
That's probably going to be more Kurt's avenue, because obviously he's in the corporate world anyway, so he's probably got a LinkedIn profile. So might have to task him with that to square that away. But yeah, LinkedIn's definitely a good way to go. Yeah, man. Like,
and don't look at LinkedIn as like this. Oh, it's mega uptight. Like I just post photos of me in the hills saying how mega are the hills. You know, corporate event in the hills. Like LinkedIn is like, for me, LinkedIn organic reach wise is unbelievable. Like the you could start a profile today, put a post out there, and it's trending because you've just hit the right algorithm and the paid reach. Will we be seeing you guys have a TikTok career?
Chances are probably not. We do actually have a TikTok account open and running now. We don't ever put anything on it, but when we sort of launched what is now the Essen Rogues as we know it, we were a bit confused as to which direction to go. So we also started making like funny videos, especially around like the lockdown, COVID stuff. We started making like parodies and skits. So we had a TikTok on there just to try and promote some, like you say, like some growth towards Instagram and whatnot. But no.
Look, it's dead interesting, mate. Like I've got an account on there, and I do post like nowhere enough to get big traction or to get a following, but it's a really interesting platform in many respects, and it's gone absolutely mental over COVID. Like I feel like if I saw the Queen doing a TikTok dance, I wouldn't even be surprised. Do you know what I mean? Busting out the moves. Well, you know, Rick, I think you've got a great brand, and I think it's definitely going to take off, and you're going to be aware with it, and you're going to be networking to death. I'm always interested to know what the resettlement process was like for people who left the military and how they found it.
Mine was relatively smooth. You know, you do hear some horror stories, but I sometimes feel like it's the groundwork you put in. When you sign off, you know you've got a year plus your resettlement. So you've got over a year to square yourself away. So if you're going to leave it till the last month or last couple of weeks to try and find something, of course you're going to fall short. But by the time I left the army, I actually had 2 jobs.
Nice.
I had 2 people offering me work, so I was lucky to be in a real good position where I could pick and choose what I wanted to do. I did have to do a week's placement at my local reserve unit, just because as the time I left in 2016, that's when they started to really push the reserves. So they said I could be released from camp a week early if I go and do a 5-day placement at my local reserve reg. So I went and done that, but at that time it wasn't really for me, because the reasons I left the army were to focus on myself, work on myself whilst I was still young enough. So to me, I sort of closed the door straight away.
Yeah.
But you know, the army were supportive where they could be with my choices, and they try to talk me into staying, as they do with everyone. But once they realise your mind is made up and you've got something in place and you're golden when you get out there, you know, they're happy. Making sure you've got a roof over your head when you leave, making sure you're going to have money coming in. So for me, that transition was nice and smooth.
Fair play, mate. And was the idea of the Essen Rogues born when you were leaving, or was that born after?
So I left the army in 2016, and the Essen Rogues has only really been a thing probably since March this year.
Wow,
so
fair play.
And it come out of nowhere. It just stemmed from all the lads that went on my stag do. We just named the group chat the Essen Rogues. And then all of a sudden we realised we've actually got something working and going here. So it sort of spiralled, and the four of us who wanted to channel our energy into it did so. And now we're here.
Fair play, man. I think it's do you know what, mate? Sometimes it doesn't need some big elaborate story of how it got started. Like, it can just be literally, we created a WhatsApp group. It was a great name, and then someone said, let's try and build a business from it. And
yeah,
you know, that will be the story that you tell. How does the PT business work so far with yourself? Have you got clients? Are you doing that?
Yeah, so obviously prior to the COVID lockdown, we were doing really well. I'm full-time employed elsewhere, so the PT is only sort of a side hustle for me. But
yeah,
we were getting some really good traction, online coaching, getting real good clientele and members in. But obviously now COVID is here and lockdown is here. Like I said earlier, I basically froze all of my guys' memberships, because I'm not in a position where I'm lucky enough to not be in a position where I rely on that income.
Yeah.
I'm in a position where I can say, look, let's do this for free. Let's keep you motivated, keep you busy. So that's what we did, and we've gained more by doing that than what we would have, I think, by staying and got out of lockdown. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, you can make great strides in lockdown if you've got the right mindset to be able to do that. You can look at it as a negative thing and pull the drawbridge up and just go, well, that's it, it's all over, and I'm just gonna eat Cheetos in my underpants and just, you know what I mean? Or you can think, right, yeah, or you can think, right, I'm gonna get it cracked. Now it's great to hear you, mate, and I'm sort of, as a businessman myself, and I'll ask you the same question. We might never see COVID-19 again, but we might see something similar where, have you made your business COVID-19 proof as best as you can? Like, I'm thinking now, in 10 years' time, if I haven't learned from this and something like this happens again, whose fault is it? Is it my fault, or is it the incident's fault? Like, what do you think going forward? Well,
funny you should say that. I've literally just dropped a video today on the Instagram page about what are you doing now. We're here in this time. This time's here. Shit bust. Nothing you can do about it. With whatever we're facing. Right, cool. But what are you doing in this time to make sure you're future-proof going forward? Are you going to
future-proof?
Are you just going to sit and let time pass you by, tick another day off the calendar, or are you going to make steps to make sure going forward, if anything like this happens, you're squared away?
Love it. Absolutely love it, mate. And you know, some of my events that I do, mate, are super tasty, and I say to people, you know, like, jokingly, I've been saying to them now, you know, when we did that event, we weren't training for that event, we were training for this. We were training for the now. Do you know what I mean? Like, you do need a bit of hardship training in your life. So when things like this do happen, you're like, well, I've done something harder. Like, I've seen, and the way you probably have as well, I've seen people fall apart, mate. Like, I've seen people who I thought, oof, you'll be fine on this. And then I've just watched them descend into chaos and think, wow, that's interesting, because I thought you were a lot stronger. And, you know, when you asked me at the start of the podcast, how you doing? That I've been giving that answer since the end of fucking Op Eric 8. Do you know what I mean? Because I know what shit looks like. And ever since the end of Op Eric 8, I've never been in that much shit ever again. So every day is like, mega, bring it on. No, it's great. Look, Rick, it's been great chatting with you, mate. I want to sort of bring in the 5 watts. So the first one, Mucker, what does your day look like?
For me now, life's not too much different for me. Still working full time, so get up, work, come back, like time on my clients, spend time with the wife and the dog, and train where we can.
Yeah, fair play. What workouts are you doing, mate? The workouts either mentally or physically, or both?
Both massively for me. So I've recently, since this whole lockdown period, I've took up meditation, and it can sound pretty wishy-washy, but it's helping me massively. You know, couple of minutes each day, just to sort of mentally recharge and re-stimulate yourself. And I'm training probably more now physically than what I was prior to lockdown. So just trying to keep myself mentally and physically active, because that's the way we're going to get through it. Yeah,
no, fair play. What have you started, mate? Have you started anything new? I know you mentioned meditation.
Yeah, well, other than the Essen Rogues, I've took up meditation, and stretching. I've never stretched before as a personal trainer, and it's doing wonders. I'm 29 now. My body's not built for it anymore, and stretching is really, really helping me.
Yeah, no, fair play. What have you stopped, mate? One thing has stopped.
I've stopped looking at things negatively, I think, now, and I've realised that the things that I might have stressed about before don't matter anymore.
Yeah, it's a dead interest in that one. You've got to ask yourself, like, negativity, it takes everything and it offers nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can look at someone else's success and you can think, fuck that guy or fuck him or whatever, and think, but like, where does it ultimately get you or your business? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that thing of, I want every single veteran-owned business and every other business, mate, to thrive, because their success doesn't impact my success. Do you know what I mean? Like,
of course not. Yeah.
You and your events doing well doesn't affect me not doing well. Like, I feel like there's too many people out there who blame others. Do you know what I mean? Like, they blame others for why it ain't happening for them, instead of saying every win is my win and every loss is my loss. That's fair play, mate. Like, and it can't. Go on, mate. Sorry.
You should always be wary of people that don't clap when you win.
Yeah. That's a great point, and that's one thing you'll find in the veteran-owned community, mate. Is like, everyone is super team winning. Do you know what I mean? Everyone is on brand. There's blokes even in the same industry sharing each other's stuff. Like, would be directly in competition, sharing each other's stuff, and it's like, because everyone gets it, that their success isn't relevant to what my success is. Cool. No, I like it. Like the mindset. What's the first thing you're going to do after lockdown?
Go on holiday.
Really?
Yeah, we're supposed to be going on a honeymoon tomorrow, but we're not. So,
right.
But we'll do a nice holiday, relax, turn our phones off for a couple of weeks, and just disconnect from the world.
Fair play, man. Wow, Rick, really great to meet you, mate. I think what you've got rocking with the Essen Rogues is really, really good.
Thank you.
Like I said, I've got the podcast downloaded now, ready to rock and roll. I'll be listening to that. I absolutely love the logo, mate, and I love the story behind it. Tell people where they can find you, mate. Social media, podcasts, websites. Go for it.
So our podcast is on YouTube, and the channel is just the Essen Rogues. You can find us on Instagram at the Essen Rogues, all one word, and on Facebook, the Essen Rogues. If you really want to, on TikTok, but there's not a lot on it.
Brilliant, ladies and gentlemen. That's been Rick from the Essen Rogues. Please go and check them out. I'm going to watch the journey, because I feel like in a year's time they'll be rocking and rolling big time. So, cracking stuff. Rick, mate, thanks very much for your time. Cheers, Mucker.
Appreciate it, mate. Thank you.
Adios. Cheers.